Welcome to the Speaking Podcast. You can find all our episodes on speakingpodcast.com or also on BitChute and YouTube as Speaking Podcast. I also have the Awakening Podcast, Meditation Podcast, the Learn Polish Podcast, and the Crypto Podcast, and all can be found on roycollin.com. Today, my guest, please welcome Madonna Hanna.
Well, hello, Roy. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you very much. And yourself?
I'm fabulous. I'm absolutely fabulous.
Excellent. So you might let the audience know who's Madonna. And I presume you're not the singer, Madonna.
Roy, thank you for pointing that out. Ever since Madonna has been out there, yes, we have been connected. We really have. But I am Madonna Hanna, and right now I am in Tacoma, Washington, in the United States of America. It is early in the morning here, but it looks like it's going to be a nice sunny day, and presently it's about 62 degrees. And I was born to speak. I'm a storyteller, motivational speaker. I have commentated fashion shows. I'm a Toastmaster, and I have been involved in international speech contests. I also MC charity events. You name it, I think I've just about done it as far as public speaking.
Excellent. So before we delve into the different things that you've just mentioned, I always like to know the speaker's journey. So how was Madonna as a child?
Madonna as a child, oh my. Well, I'll tell you, I started off first 9 years as an only child, and I was able to use my imagination. If you could picture a very young Madonna who, unbeknownst to her, was going to go into the fashion industry and eventually become a teacher, there were times when I would set up my dolls and stuffed animals, and I would give speeches to them. I would tell them stories, and I would also sell merchandise to them. So, like I said, I'm a born speaker. And
had they money to buy the merchandise off you?
Well, what did you say?
Had they money to buy the merchandise off you?
Well, of course they did. I'm using my imagination, and if I'm giving them a sales pitch, you can picture a 5-year-old taking merchandise down out of her closet and presenting it to an assortment of stuffed animals. And also I did the same thing with my parents' apparels and accessories, whether it was my father's brogue shoes or my mother's high heel shoes that also matched her purse, and there was a hat too. I mean, I had no idea that all of that was setting me up to go into the fashion industry, and eventually and I've also done acting too. that was me as a child, just always looking for something to sell, something to move around, always giving fashion tips to people. I was born to do that.
Excellent. And like you mentioned the actress, so I know that, and you, like, because you had said about the Toastmasters, and what I have seen, because I'm involved in Toastmasters as well, is that the people that have done acting, they tend to get further because they not only are they trying to get their message across, but they can use their their emotions as well, from being trained in how to do it professionally.
Yes, you're exactly right. As a child, I was so absorbed with movies and watching television and imitating the people that I heard, and also imitating their gestures, as well as noting the scenery and the costumes. And as I am reminding you that I am absorbing all of this as a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old child. I would often imitate the actor's emotions. I would just repeat words and just try to do my best to emulate whatever actor, male or female, that I was listening to.
Brilliant. Excellent. And like getting into the Toastmasters. So when did you get involved with the Toastmasters? And then you might tell us about your journey, because I've seen the pictures with all your trophies and it's very impressive.
Well, why, thank you, Roy. I have been a Toastmaster for 9 years. My home club is Evergreen 333 Express, and I will be meeting with them at noon today. Since I am an experienced speaker, I was looking for something to do, and I know that there was a contest involved. So I thought that might be fun to participate in the international speech contest. And in 2015, I made it to the semifinals, and I was there in Las Vegas competing at Caesar's Palace with Toastmasters from around the world. I did not make it to the finals, but I'm going to say when they announced that the 99 people that were there they were the top 99 out of the 30,000 Toastmasters around the world who had participated. I thought, oh my gosh, well, that's okay to be in the top 99.
Exactly. No, fantastic achievement.
Yeah. Yes. And since then, I have been in, I continued to compete, and it's just been a wonderful experience for a competitive person like myself. And it also gives me an opportunity when I'm practicing my speeches, as anyone who's listening who has participated in the international event, you have a chance to visit various clubs. And with COVID, I had a chance to visit various clubs around the world to practice my speech, to prepare for prepare for my various steps in the competition.
Oh, excellent. And like with the one that you got to the semi-final, like how did you practice? Because I probably a lot of people might know, but if you do get into the final, you have to do a completely different speech, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
So how did you prepare for the semi, and then did you have one ready, or what was your strategy?
My strategy was to visit as many clubs as possible and receive feedback so that the speech was tweaked as much as it could possibly be tweaked as far as content and delivery. I did have another speech prepared just in case I made the finals. And that is very, very important, that if you're going to compete, to also have that second speech ready to go and to have practiced that second speech. I've been told that that is very important because sometimes contestants are very surprised that they've made it to the finals. And now, and excuse me, at that point, they pull out their second speech and start to practice it. Whereas some competitors come in, they're already ready to go with that second speech because they've been out there visiting various clubs and practicing that second speech also.
You have a massive advantage when you do that compared to somebody that's just kind of practicing, at the event, because there's no way that you'll be at the same level.
Exactly. You are exactly right. And I feel that that is really, really good advice to give to contestants who win the district. And actually anybody who is competitive, have that second speech ready to go and make sure you're familiar with it. It's a speech that you feel very comfortable about giving and can do your best at it.
It's an interesting one, actually, an interesting dilemma, because if you have practiced it, that you're, you know, in your head, you're going, I'm going to the final, so I'm going to go around and do 2 of these speeches in whatever among the clubs. And if you have kind of your inner circle that kind of go, yeah, they're all excellent, but I prefer this speech A, say, do you go in with your speech A to get into the final, or do you hold your speech A and as the winning speech? You know, it's a hard one, isn't it?
Boy, that is a dilemma, because your contest speech, which gets you to the district, and when you win the district, you know that you are going to have to present that same speech at the semifinals. There is sometimes a dilemma between which speech do I like the best, and should I go ahead and deliver this one, speech A, as you said, or boy, I really like speech B. Oh, I like it. You know, and I think you just have to go with your gut feeling.
Yeah.
That's what I think that you have to do, that with your club and within your district. Sometimes they'll help to guide you. They'll say, well, you know what? I really feel like this is your competition speech here, and that this should be the speech that you go with in the finals.
Yeah, no, exactly. So you mentioned that UMC kind of charity events. You might let us know what that entails and how you go about that.
Thank you for asking about that. I like to MC charity events, and I think that what makes me particularly good at it is because I do have a background in salesmanship. When you MC an event where money is going to be raised, first, it's good to mingle with the audience, get to know them, because in my case, I already know, and I tell the people who hire me that I'm going to get them to spend more money than they thought they were going to spend. You know, that when you go to an event, you know, you decide, some people decide, okay, we're only going to spend this much on a live auction. We're only going to spend X amount on these silent auction items. Okay. The silent auction items, you know, that's one thing, you know, you can talk those up. And then when you are doing that live auction, you have to be able to make people feel comfortable, have them join the fun, and get them so excited that instead of spending X, they're going to spend X, Y, Z. And with my salesmanship ability, being able to deliver a pitch, being able to look some people in the eyes, because sometimes there's like a bidding war at between a couple of tables for an item. Roy, oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys do this in Poland, but sometimes in America, there's what we call a dessert frenzy, where you have people bid on a donated dessert. And I can remember a time when there was a pan of German chocolate brownies, and there were a couple of tables that were bidding furiously on them, and I got them up to $250 for a pan of donated chocolate German, brownies. And it was so much fun because, it was, okay, this table over here, oh, I know you're going to open your wallet up and, to whatever the bid was. Maybe it was 150. Oh, yes, you're going to do that. Yeah, we got 150 over here. And now this table over there. Oh, I know you want to go to 175 for those delicious brownies. Oh my gosh, you can just smell the homemade ingredients. Oh, that butter. Yeah, it was freshly churned this morning, probably. I mean, people will start to laugh. They know the butter wasn't freshly churned that morning. But when you can get them in a really good mood and you can talk things up, and then, 175 over here. Oh, my friends over here. Oh, I see you looking in your purse over there. You're looking for a little bit more money, aren't you? Because this is going to go to 200. And you're going to take it to 200, right? Yes, you are. Okay. I'll stop it there, Ray. But Roy, excuse me. But you can start to get the feel of how much fun I can have at a charity auction because of my retail background, sales, knowing how to deliver a pitch, and also my ability to act too.
No, I mean, listening to you there, no, that was fantastic. Yeah, and I'd love to be in the room to watch that. That's amazing.
Well, it really helps a charity to raise significantly more money, because the audience, and it's so important, the audience has got to be able to engage with the person who is emceeing and doing the auctioning. Sometimes I get to do both. Sometimes I'm simply the MC warming people up, and I will introduce the auctioneer, and we may banter just a tiny bit. But yes, if anybody has the opportunity to do both, be the MC and also promote the other venues to raise money, just relax, have fun, look at the merchandise yourself so that you can pick up some tips. But you see, me being in sales, I know the benefits and features of a product, so that I can tailor the information, so that I can paint that picture to the people who are going to spend more money than they thought they were going to spend.
Brilliant. No, love it, love it. And I know you've been involved with Rotary clubs as well. Were you just speaking at them, or are you actually a member?
Speaking.
Okay.
Yes, I'm often asked to speak at various venues, whether it's the Rotary Club, schools, elementary, middle school, high school, and some colleges too. Hey, I'm a motivational speaker, and I can also talk about customer service, bullying, sales. Interviews, how to interview and how to dress for interviews. It just depends. And I think that when people think public speaking and they want to be public speakers, you should always speak about something that you know about. Don't just pick something out of the air, but it makes it more enjoyable for the people who are listening. It makes it not only enjoyable, but it's informative, so that people walk away with some information that they really didn't know about before, or you have framed it in a different way that piques their interest to find out even more about what you were talking about, or more about you as a speaker.
Oh, brilliant. And what I like actually is, that you concentrate on the anti-bullying. And what's strange is I mean, I ask a lot of my guests to tell me their kind of, their kind of childhood before they get speaking, how they came about it. And a load say they were bullied. I was bullied as well. And you might kind of, because there's a high percentage of people that have been bullied and it's kind of brushed under the carpet. I don't think people talk about it as much as they should. So you might kind of, what things that you can maybe tell the audience that might help there?
Roy, I'm sorry to hear that you were bullied, and you are very correct that, gosh, practically everybody I meet, not everybody, but a high percentage of people have been bullied. I was bullied because of the color of my skin. I was raised in a white suburb of Boston. And when you are the only one who looks like you in a classroom, not all the kids, but there's always a couple of kids. There were 4 little white boys who just stayed after me and stayed after me. And at the time, when you're being bullied, when you're young, you think your life is always going to be like that, because it seems like it's never, ever going to stop. I know that I wished I was another color, but as I grew older, I found out that, gee, people get bullied because they're tall, because they're short, because their hair's straight, because their hair's curly, because they have freckles, because they're pretty, they're not pretty. People can be bullied about absolutely any and everything. And I learned that I'm not going to care about people who don't like me because of the color of my skin. I cannot do anything about it. And I had to learn how to accept me for me, and to look at all of the talents and skills that was given to me, that I was born with. As I was telling you, as a child, I'm giving sales speeches and sales pitches to my toys. I'm referring to the clothes in my closet as merchandise. I'm redesigning labels for canned food. And I was actually writing letters to companies about, giving them suggestions about their products. And this is as a child, I'm doing this. I had to look at these skills and say, this is me. It is more than the color of my skin, but this is me. This is what I'm going to pursue. And I'm going to say the best thing about me being bullied was that it helped me to develop a thick skin. Going into the fashion industry, you need a thick skin.
Yeah, I've heard that's a very hard industry.
Yes, I was at the corporate level in retail management, and then at the corporate level in women's apparel manufacturing for a national corporation. And wow, it's not just people being prejudiced against you because of the color of your skin, but it's just how people do business. They can be very cutthroat, and you can't take it personally. And plus, I also modeled, and I also hired models, and I was very nice to the models that I did not hire, but there were people who would, get upset because they wanted an agency to send them a brunette, but a redhead showed up, and it's like, why they send me a redhead? I can't do anything with a redhead. Get out of here, and if you can't take that, because you have to look at it like they asked for a can of peas and you gave them a can of corn. Like, what is wrong with you? I can't do anything with the corn. I wanted peas. And that's basically, I've simplified it, but that's basically, what it is. And so you have to be able to have a thick skin to take rejection. And hey, I went through that as a child. So, this became a piece of cake. Once I did leave the fashion industry to become a fashion marketing teacher. I didn't know I was going to go into teaching, but that's how it, things happen. And one of the things I wanted to make sure of was that no child was bullied in my classroom. And I didn't teach high school. Nobody was going to be bullied in my high school. I put my foot down and I let the students know, along with, my other expectations, that no one is going to be bullied. I would say, I don't care who you don't like. I don't care, because most of the time in your work world, in your work life, you'll be, if you do like everybody you work with, you will be an exception, because most of the time you have to, and I did teach human relation skills, you have to be able to tolerate people. Not everybody's going to be like you. We are not clones, and you need to be tolerant of people and expect and respect them for what they can do, and don't compare them to yourself. Like, that person is stupid because they can't do what I can do. Well, no, they're not stupid. It's just we all have different talents and skills. So, like I said, I didn't put up with bullying, and it made the classroom environment conducive to getting a lot of work done. It was a very calm classroom, and the students enjoyed coming to the class because they knew that nobody was going to pick on them. And if they did, they'd have to deal with me.
Brilliant. I love it. I love it. And like, listening to you now over the last half hour, your vocal variety is impressive. So I don't think people realize the importance of that, especially in a competition, but just when you're on stage, whether you're doing the emceeing or whatever. So you might just let people, how they should practice and what's the best tricks for it.
The best tricks, first of all, record yourself. Record yourself just reading a newspaper or reading a children's book. Then listen to yourself and be critical. Step outside yourself. Also, listen to really good speakers. Listen to really good storytellers and what makes them a good storyteller. What tips can you pick up from them to develop your own style? Those are the two best tips that I can give, is to, like I said, record yourself reading the newspaper, reading a children's book, and also listen to other really good speakers and critique them. Why are they good? And ask other people, why are they good? What did you hear? There are exercises that you can do with your voice, like saying one word 10 different ways. Like stop, 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 stop. That's a simple one to do.
Madonna, stop.
Okay.
Brilliant. No, I like it. Yeah.
Okay, Roy, I stopped.
No, but it's fantastic. It's a brilliant way of practicing. It's like, because people don't do that. They don't realize it. And sometimes they're very monotone, and you have to keep the audience engaged.
Yes, yes. And you can also do that with a turn of phrase too. If you okay, just take I'm just going to give you three words: engage and captivate. Engage and captivate. Engage and captivate. Okay. And because sometimes people, if I say, oh, just do a word, but you can also do that.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. This is our first Freedom Talks with Freedom Travel Alliance.
There's someone
I
saying,
am
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's being recorded. I would also say that if you wanted to do another kind of vocal variety activity, is to take one sentence, how do you describe vocal variety, and emphasizing a certain word, like how do you describe vocal variety? 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 If you hopefully you noticed a difference in
of
how
course, yeah, no, it's excellent. Yeah, no,
that
I mean, most people don't even think of that, but each one, it's because even you could be pointing to somebody like, how do you, describe vocal variety as you point to them, and just different things. Excellent. I love them tips.
Yeah, so we've got those two activities that people can easily share. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Do you have any special tips when it comes to speaking, Roy?
I always tell people to speak from the heart and something that you're passionate about, rather than some story that you read or whatever. Because when it's like, for example, if you were talking about bullying, that's something you're passionate about, and people will feel the passion. And everybody's got that story. And I think that when you're speaking, if you go from the heart instead of from a piece of paper or something that you've read or researched, you have a way better chance of connecting with the audience. They feel it. They feel you.
You're exactly right. When when I go out to schools to speak about me being bullied, whether it is a middle school or a high school, doesn't matter how old I am or what color I am. When I stand up in front of a group of children and say, I was the kid that sat at the table all by myself at lunch, I start to see, certain children like, oh, really? Even, because I'm older than them, but like, even back then, because I'm that kid. I'm the kid that if I sat next to somebody, they pushed their chair away. I'm the kid that when somebody invited me to their home and their parents saw me and they pulled their child aside and said, you need to tell Madonna she needs to go home, because I'm the wrong color. They never told their parents a little colored girl or black girl was coming over, and that's me. And children feel that, whether it's elementary, middle, or high school. And when I tell them about how bystanders can help, and in fact, when you're being bullied, you kind of hope somebody would stand up and help you. And but I also share with the children that when other kids were bullied, I was glad, because at that moment it wasn't me. And that's something that not everybody tells an audience of kids, that when you're bullied and you see somebody else being bullied, you're just, I mean, you're not jumping for joy, but you're just glad that for this moment, it's just not you, because your number's coming up. But for this moment. It's not you. It's just not you. So anyway,
I think, I think a lot of the time the children are bullying because, especially in the racial issues, because the parents are, and they basically, the child would never do it, only that it was, they witnessed their parents doing it. And sometimes I think the child has to teach the parents that this is wrong.
Yes, you are exactly right. If we have time, I have a really quick example. I was maybe about 13 or 14 years old. My mother had sent me into the, sent me to the store. Now, there were two separate incidents. One time it was right after Easter, and I was walking in the store, and this baby in the shopping cart, he looked at me and he said, "Mom, a chocolate lady." He was thinking like, wow, I know I got a chocolate Easter bunny, but this is a chocolate lady walking around the store. His mother turned red from embarrassment. But you see, that's innocent.
Yeah.
That's innocent. Another time I was in the grocery store, like I said, I was 13, 14 years old. Oh, this just broke my heart. Another little kid in the, grocery cart, and he pointed his little finger at me and he said, "Mama, look." And he said the N word. This is a kid who was maybe 2 or 3 years old. And his mother looked at me and he looked at me, and they both had this hateful look on their face, Roy. I left the store without picking up what my mother had sent me because I was so scared at that point. I didn't know what was going to happen to me, and I was just shaken by this 3-year-old child pointing his finger at me and saying, "Mama, look," and using the N word, and the mother turning and looking at me. And I thought, that parent has taught that child that word, because a 3-year-old does not know the N word unless, parents are at home.
No, totally. And
Yeah.
shame on that mother for doing that, because that's
You know,
that's how it keeps spreading. You just have to nip it in
Exactly.
the bud. And I love, because there's plenty of speakers out there just speaking, but I love when somebody has a mission and they're just helping others, especially that you've gone through the bullying yourself, and you don't realize by just having the speech in the classes how much you're helping people. You can change their life. You will, you might never find out, you might never go back there, but you're definitely putting a ripple in the water, a little pebble in the water. There's plenty of ripples just by what
Yes.
you're doing. And I love that. I love when people have a mission like that.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Roy. And thank you for bringing that memory up to me when you said, when you mentioned that parents teaching, because that's something that I had not thought about in a long time, but something that people need to hear, to just get that visual of just the two contrasts, the mom being, blushing from head to toe because his child is looking at me as wow, a chocolate lady. Whoa. As opposed to, the other mom.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it would have been worse if the child actually took a bite out of your arm thinking you were chocolate.
Gosh, he would have got a surprise, wouldn't he? She's not chocolate. Wow.
You learn something new every day. That's what
Yes, that's what I learned. Yes.
Brilliant. Listen, Madonna, I love speaking to you. What I want to ask you finally is Dropkick the Drama website. I mean, that's a cool name. How did you come up with that? What's it about?
I was giving a commencement, a graduation speech to a high school, obviously. And I told the seniors, you got to drop kick the drama. You're going out there to the outside world, and all this little drama that you had in high school, it's time to leave that. It's time to leave it. And when you go out into the world, out into the community of the world, look for opportunities to give to other people. Reach out, and if you see a wrong, right it. Don't get involved in drama. That wastes your time and energy, and you need to move forward. Use your talents to help other people.
Beautiful, beautiful. So
Thank you.
that's the website. You may what's the best way for people to contact you, Madonna?
They can go to my Instagram, Madonna Fit, Fast, and Fabulous. Facebook is Madonna, the letter B, Hanna. I had no idea how many Madonna Hannas there were in the world. And my website, which is dropkickthedrama.com, or they may email me at madfashion, MADFASHION 2001 at yahoo.com.
Excellent. I'll make sure that I put all the links in the podcast description. It's been wonderful speaking to you, Madonna.
Oh, it has been a pleasure, Roy. I've had so much fun speaking to you, and thank you. Thank you for leading me in a direction where, I didn't think I was going to go today, but that's the sign of a really good interviewer. And this has been a pleasure for me, Roy.
Thank you very much. Excellent. So that's all for the Speaking Podcast. You'll find all our episodes on speakingpodcast.com. We're on BitChute and YouTube as Speaking Podcast. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating, a review, a thumbs up, as it all helps. Until next week, take care.